güey, ¿por qué mejor no te vas para Europa?
Hi, my name is Rodrigo Flores López, and I composed the original music for the film Guten Tag, Ramón, directed by Jorge Ramírez-Suárez. One of the core aspects the story deals with is helping each other and trusting people. And I think Jorge is the kind of person that does that, which is probably one of the main reasons the film is so powerful and so truthful. One of the greatest things about working with Jorge is that he gives me a lot of freedom to work on the music. Initially, we had a 10-track that was used for early screenings of the film, and the thing is that it helped us to know which were the specific places where we wanted to have music. But after that, Jorge just told me, you know what, forget about this 10-track, forget about the music that's in there, and just experiment based on the film. So that gave me a lot of freedom to try a lot of different themes. So in the end, I was able to come up with a 3-note motif that represents the essence of Ramon's character. And the thing is that with this core idea, I was able to compose themes that represent him musically while he's changing throughout the story. So I think that was a very interesting idea to represent musically. There is a scene in the film which I think is very important because we can get to see Ramón feeling at home for the very first time when he's in Germany. And there were probably 3 or 4 different songs that were used to tempt that scene. And the funny thing is that no matter how good those songs were, there was always a point in which the film would go in one direction and the song would go in another one because they had a different structure. And I told Jorge I would like to compose a cue for this and see how it works. So he said, sure, go ahead. And they say that for film composers it can be a limitation having to follow a structure of a narrative that is already there. But on the other hand, for me as a film composer, I think it opens up a lot of possibilities because I can follow that structural line with a musical cue and try to make them be unified at the end. So it is very rewarding to see that those 2 elements can come together, and that was the actual cue that ended up being used for the scene. I was very happy to have people from different backgrounds be a part of the production of the score. For example, there is Manuel Espinaz, who's an excellent musician and guitar player. He's originally from Cuba, but he's also very Mexican now, and he performs the acoustic guitar. And at first, I was a little bit reluctant to use the guitar because I didn't want it to become a stereotype of Mexico, as it has been in many other films. So, once I had the orchestral palette and the synth sounds that I was going to use, it became clear that if I had a musical language that was specific to the film, I could incorporate both the guitar and the piano as representative instruments of Mexico and Germany without them becoming too much of a cliché. I knew that it was okay to use the guitar because it was representative of the north of Mexico, specifically the state of Durango. But at the same time, I knew that Mexican audiences would be able to recognize if I used the marimba or the harp as representative of other regions of Mexico, so I decided to use those for moments when Ramón is feeling nostalgic about his country. I was very happy to work with the Bulgarian Symphony Orchestra Everybody there was so professional, everything was so well organized, and the musicians were amazing. And the truth is, they're literally the ones who brought the score to life. I also had the great pleasure of having my very dear and very knowledgeable Dennis Hughes from New York become the music consultant to the score for the film. And finally, Nick Coolidge from our studios in London decided to jump on board as well. He liked the project, he liked the story, and we got along very well. So he went with us to Bulgaria to record the orchestra, and then we went back to London where he did the final mix. So I think all the elements came together in a really perfect way. And then we had Nacho Soto and his team at Fixed Comunicación do the sound design of the film, and Miguel Molina, sound engineer, do the final mix of the soundtrack. And not only for a composer, but for the film itself, it's very important to have all those elements come together in a harmonious way. I think this story is just wonderful. It has excellent performances and excellent direction, and I really had a lot of fun writing the music for the film.